The iPad Pro has always walked a fine line between being a tablet and replacing your computer, but 2025's iPad Pro M5 might just obliterate that line. Welcome to Technology Review, where we dissect the future of tech before it hits your desk. Today, we're diving deep into the wild, electrifying, and sometimes questionable leaks surrounding Apple's rumored iPad Pro M5. And spoiler alert, it could be the company's most ambitious iPad ever. If you've ever found yourself juggling video editing, messaging, and streaming all at once on your iPad, only to watch it buckle under pressure, this upcoming model might be the one you've been waiting for. Apple seems ready to break through the current ceiling with a significant leap in performance, smarter AI integration, and a major boost in storage and connectivity. It's shaping up to be more than just an upgrade. It could redefine what we expect from a mobile computing device. Let's rewind for a second. The M4 iPad Pro was already a substantial jump. Apple introduced OLED for the first time on an iPad, thinned the chassis dramatically, and gave us silicon performance that matched many laptops. But now, less than a year later, Apple is reportedly ready to launch the next-gen M5 iPad Pro. And while it may retain a similar design, nearly everything inside might be re-engineered to deliver unmatched power. And the first big-ticket item? The new M5 chip. While Apple has always held its cards close, reliable leaks suggest the M5 chip is in production and built for serious performance. The CPU is expected to stay at 10 cores, much like the M4, but the GPU? That's taking a leap to 12 cores. What does that mean for the average user? Expect graphics performance to soar. Early estimates put the GPU boost at around 35% faster, with AI processing improvements by 50%. For anyone working with large files, running demanding applications, or creating content on the go, that's a massive upgrade. On the CPU side, performance will be modestly faster, around 15% better, but it's the neural engine and GPU that Apple seems to be focusing on. The idea is that the iPad Pro becomes your all-in-one productivity and creativity machine, capable of real-time AI-powered workflows, high-end video rendering, and seamless multitasking. Speaking of multitasking, Thunderbolt 5 is also heavily rumored to be on board. The USB-C port will still look familiar, but the speeds? Not even close. Thunderbolt 5 is expected to allow for up to 120 gigabits per second transfer speeds. That means you can move massive files, like entire 8K video libraries, in seconds. This also opens the door to much faster external drive support, high-resolution external displays, and better support for advanced peripherals. So what about storage? That's been one of the key frustrations for users with high workloads. On the current iPad Pro, the base model starts at 256 gigabytes, which can feel limited when dealing with 4K videos, high-res ProRAW photos, or large design files. The iPad Pro M5 is rumored to double the base storage to 512 gigabytes, and more impressively, add a 4 terabytes option for the first time. For digital creators, that could be game-changing. No more juggling external drives or deleting content just to make space. Imagine storing all your projects, backups, apps, and reference materials on a single device, ready to go at all times. Design-wise, Apple is expected to keep the same slim form factor introduced with the M4 model. That ultra-thin aluminum frame, edge-to-edge display, and industrial design will return, possibly with a new finish or colorway. Think space gray, but with a slightly more matte or brushed finish, though that's speculative. Still, it's a sleek look that already feels futuristic. As for the Magic Keyboard, Apple reportedly isn't changing much. You'll still get a floating design, backlit keys, and a full trackpad, making the iPad feel even more laptop-like. Some whispers in the rumor mill hint at a sturdier hinge or slightly improved key travel, but don't expect a massive overhaul. If anything, it'll be a refinement, not a revolution. Let's take a moment to look critically at what we're getting. The iPad Pro M5 appears to double down on performance and internal upgrades, rather than radically change the iPad's outward identity. For some, that's exciting, especially if you've hit the limit on what the M4 can do. But for others, especially casual users, this might feel like an incremental jump. That said, Thunderbolt 5, a 12-core GPU, and a smarter AI engine are not small gains. These upgrades will matter, especially as Apple continues to push iPad OS to support more professional-level apps. Think Logic Pro, Final Cut, Adobe Suite, and more, all running smoothly with better resource management and responsiveness. Of course, every rumor must be taken with a grain of skepticism. While many of these leaks come from reliable sources who correctly predicted M4 details, nothing is confirmed until Apple takes the stage. But when you put all the pieces together, from chip production to updated accessory support, the timeline suggests we could see this new iPad Pro in early to mid-2025. And pricing? That's always the kicker. Expect the iPad Pro M5 to start at around $999 for the 11-inch and $1,299 for the larger 13-inch model. The 4 terabytes configurations will obviously be significantly higher, possibly crossing the $2,000 mark once you factor in cellular options and accessories like the Magic Keyboard or Apple Pencil Pro. So the question is, should you upgrade? If you're an artist, video editor, engineer, or digital nomad working with intensive apps, the M5 could be your next workhorse. The combination of processing power, GPU improvements, faster ports, and better multitasking will absolutely be worth it. If you're using an M1 or earlier, the jump will be dramatic. But if you just bought the M4, unless you need Thunderbolt 5 or crave those extra GPU cores, you may want to hold off. The design will be largely unchanged, and for light tasks, the performance gains might not be noticeable enough to justify a new investment. However, what we're seeing with Apple's vision for the iPad is clear. The company is positioning the iPad Pro as more than just a tablet. It's evolving into a full-fledged creative and productivity platform. With each upgrade, it becomes more capable of handling the kind of work you'd typically reserve for a MacBook or even a desktop setup. That raises bigger questions about the future of iPad OS too. Will Apple finally remove some of the software limitations holding the iPad back from truly replacing a laptop? Will we see full desktop-class apps, better window management, and more robust external display support? With the hardware moving forward at this pace, the software has to catch up, and 2025 could be the year Apple does just that. Until then, all eyes are on the M5 iPad Pro. If the leaks are true, it could mark the most significant leap in iPad power and usability since the very first Pro model launched. And for creators who rely on speed, precision, and mobility, it might just become the new gold standard. Stay tuned here at Technology Review. We'll be breaking down every Apple announcement, rumor, and teardown and giving you the straight facts, with just enough edge to keep things interesting.